I know we've got some visitors, and we'll make sure you have lots and lots of time to connect with them. But for the respect of everyone's time, we'll go ahead and get started. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
Does that work?
It works.
Good. Well, I wanted to first start as our normal Tuesday reminder. Please silence your cell phones or any device you have that makes any noise so we can hear whether we are watching from home or in person. And thank you for your attendance. It's so good to see you all, obviously, with it being cold and rainy, so I do appreciate you coming out. Probably came to see Tide, that's fine too. But thank you. I know it's cold and rainy and nasty, so we appreciate you. So we'll go ahead and start with a couple resident announcements, and then I'll do a kind of a formal introduction. I know we reviewed his bio and a little information about him, but I just wanted to give him an opportunity to say hello to you all. So Ms. Susan, you had some updates?
First, Jan.
First, Jan, okay.
I thought you get first.
That's right.
This announcement is for FLYCRA. They have their state representative, Kim Bartville, coming on Friday at 2:30 here in the town hall. Hope that you'll attend.
Thank you.
Any other? Yes, Ms. Susan?
I just want to remind everyone that on Tuesday the 14th at 1:30, the RO Players are going to present a very interesting program, most of what was written by Andrea Adner and Thomas Jefferson.
Thank you, Susan. Any other? Oh, yes. I can't forget you.
Good morning. I'm Annette Pierce, president of the Regency Oaks Scholarship Fund. And I know that so many of you have been so generous throughout the year, but that time is coming up again. Applications for scholarships are going out to our associates. And so we're a busy time. In order to receive, let me first say, for those who may not know, some of the newer people, we are a 501c3 nonprofit corporation founded 10 years ago by our residents in order to thank our associates for all that they do for us each day. The scholarship applications are going out very soon, and this will go to any of our associates and children of associates who are attending accredited universities, colleges, or trades programs. They will be filling out applications, which they will have to approve that they have been accepted to the next term of college or school. They will submit their grade, point average from the last semester. They will have approval from their supervisor here at Regency Oaks and have to write an essay telling their career goals, what their needs are, and so forth in order to be able to continue with their education. Our award ceremony is June 13th, the second Saturday in June. And of course, you're all invited to that to see the wonderful smiles of all of the applicants who receive awards. Our timing for our evaluation committee is to approve all of these applications and determine by mid-May about how many awards are going to be giving and to the size. Of course, that all depends on all the generosity that you have been giving throughout the year. So thank you for that. And by the way, last week, Lindsay, you mentioned that we have a high retention percentage, a third, I think, in the portfolio. And that's due to the donations, the generous donations of not only the scholarship fund, but also the gift fund. So continue to be generous. Thank you very much, and appreciate your time.
You're absolutely right, Annette. A big part of that, as we discussed, was indicative to everything that you all helped contribute to both of those. So just always, from the bottom of our heart, thank you for that. So moving on to just a little bit of a formal introduction. Just wanted to again welcome Ty Morgan. He is come on up here, Ty, just say hello. He is the Executive Director at Cypress Village. I know I shared his full bio with you last week. He is now our new corporate operations director, and he's responsible for Regency. So I just wanted to give him an opportunity, warm welcome. And just give an opportunity to
Good morning, everyone. Very, very fortunate, very excited to be here. I've been to Regency Oaks on many occasions for meetings, primarily in this area and in the dining areas. I have not seen the other parts of Regency Oaks today, and I have not met a lot of residents, which I'm trying to do today. That's my favorite part, are the residents and the staff. So I'm really looking forward to getting acclimated with the community and all of you while I'm here. So if anybody has any questions, I'm an open book. Here I am.
And we'll take them after all the updates. And we do, of course, have our previous boss. She has moved on to other endeavors, as we discussed. Sherry Robinson was promoted. We have her with us as she kind of transitions Ty into our community. So just wave, Sherry. I know you know most everyone. She's still ultimately responsible for Regency as well. So I think we're all in good hands. So we'll just move on to some updates from all of the leadership team, and then we'll give you an opportunity to, of course, ask me any questions like always, and then Ty or Sherry. So I know this is your favorite, but it's so important because it continues to be an issue. Please make sure we are returning these luggage carts. I know it's getting around that time. Lots of people are traveling, so that's exciting. But please make sure we are returning these. We keep buying more and we keep putting luggage tags on them. So just help us out. Make sure we get those returned. As we mentioned before, we have a really good new problem. We are about 97% occupied, so we are needing some storages. So I know I kind of made my little cry last week, but if you have any storages that you're not needing, any that you might have more than you should, please let us know so we can get those. We do have a lot of new move-ins who would like them. And we will be looking to incentivize you on that because we do need to get those. We've got a few more left in each building. However, we are going to be needing additional. So please just keep in mind, if you find it in the goodness of your heart, we need some storage units. So thank you. And let Betsy know. That time again. The short are coming. So I know it is tax time. It's about that deadline to get all of that in. So I know a lot of you have had those appointments and have all those documents. So the annual shred bins were ordered and they should arrive anytime now. They will be placed in each lobby, the north and the south, for you to drop any of those very important documents. They are professionally shredded by a company for confidentiality and recycling. So you can place those items. They are both locked in either of the shred bins in either of the buildings. And we usually have them for about a month, usually through this time of year. So any spring cleaning you need to do, any documents you need to get rid of, and then of course any of those old tax documents that you can definitely place in there. And again, they'll be here anytime. We'll have them for about a month. So EVS has been very busy. We just like to kind of give you a little bit of data every now and then. In March, we had 30,337 pounds of linens that we cleaned between the health center and independent living. So I know that you've asked about the linens and the processes, and that's just a little fun fact about that. And then every week, our housekeepers clean 172 apartments in the south and 174 in the north. So they're very, very busy individuals. So I know that we've mentioned this. We've got about another week or two for our north. Why are you laughing at me? Our north elevator. Remember, we're taking turns with the elevators breaking. So the north elevator is currently being worked on. That one is on about week 4, so we do have a couple more weeks. That one has the most extensive, requiring the most extensive work. So that will take a couple more weeks, and then that one will be up. And again, that is the main elevator in the north. You've seen the barricades around it. They are having to install internal piping for additional pieces and equipment. So taking a little longer than the others, but the others should be up and working. That's right, should. So just a little updates from plant operations. We had about 129 completed work orders, about 49 are still open. We did have a new fire company, as we mentioned. We did change from Piper Fire to CSS Fire. So we are working on some sprinkler heads and some new apartments. We did replace 3 new HVAC, so 3 new ACs on our corridors in the south building. I know that we've discussed the CapEx funding for those, so we will be having a lot of new ACs in our corridors, especially this time of year as it starts to warm up. We did complete the repaving of the striping in the back of the north building that was by the R wing. Yes, we did it twice, but it is done the second time. We did get the phone repaired in the salon. We didn't realize when we updated all of the phone systems, we must have missed that one, so I do apologize if there were any issues calling into the salon, but we did get that addressed. Of course, we are continuing to work with Blue Team. They are on pause today because of the weather and the rain, but they are continuing the vinyl replacements throughout the community. So they are having to take them off, get them measured, they take them off site, and then they usually bring them back, replace them about the next day. So they are continuing that process, but they are on pause today due to the weather. We did have some boiler repairs scheduled for later this week. Darwin is just waiting on the parts for those. And then just wanted to remind you again that the maintain with maintenance, so any questions you have in regards to maintenance or work orders is directly after Tuesday talk in the South Grand Lobby. Usually Chris is there and he manages the work orders, so he can answer any of those questions for you on the status of those. And just as a reminder, we are continuing to work on our 2026 CapEx projects. Remember we discussed the cooling towers are next. We want to do that sooner than later. Getting those replaced. Our south kitchen flooring, so we will have to close down that kitchen for a certain amount of time. And then the last portion of our paving project. Remember that was being done in 4 different sections throughout the community over the last 4 years now. So more information as we continue the logistics of those projects. We'll of course communicate those various things once we have to start closing areas and whatnot. So as discussed, Blue Team is continuing to go to those select units to remove those vinyls and measure the screens. They are coming back within a couple of days and getting those taken care of. If they have done that, they are covering any items you have out there or helping move items, so you shouldn't have anything damaged in the small amount of time before they come back to get them replaced. They are currently finishing the S wing in the north and then moving on to the M wing. We do know there was a few north apartments that were skipped, so we will be coming back for those. So if you feel like you've been skipped, let Betsy know. Remember, they have a list that they determined, but we can see what the status of that is for you. So I did get a timeline from Blue Team, so I know you thought we were closely moving on, and we are. These are the last few projects that we're finishing, and it seems like a lot, but they are a lot shorter projects. So just kind of want to get into some of that. So as we mentioned, the 3rd floor flat roof that is over here in this area, we are still waiting for the final approval of that. And then we will be beginning in about 3 weeks. That is why you still see those beautiful little pads on the ground, because they have to bring their equipment back because they will be starting that area. The good thing is that area will only take a couple of weeks, so it won't be a multiple 6-month-long process. But we do have to have those pads down there. It is damaging the grass, we know that. We will make sure to replace the grass that's underneath, but they have to use those for their large equipment to get back through there for that 3rd floor flat roof that we will be getting in a couple of weeks. So I hate them too. I ask Blue Team every week if I can get them out of the way but they are very heavy and they require heavy equipment to pick them up and move them. So fortunately, that's why they have been sitting out there for, 8 months? That's right, forever. So the window washing, I know I keep saying this every week, that's what Blue Team keeps telling me, but they are waiting on getting that added to the insurance claim. As we discussed, they came through, they power washed the building, and then basically washed all the dirt onto your windows. So we had asked them to go back and get the power washing added to that project. So still waiting on that. They did go back and they are asking that question. So we are still waiting on the final approval. So I just want to make sure I address that it has not been forgotten. Now I know that we had talked probably for a few months about the EFIS banding. So that is something that we will be starting. That is a decorative foam band that is around some aspects of the building that helped contribute to some of the water intrusion. So that is an area that Blue Team is also addressing, and they are going to begin that around the 3rd week of April, and it's going to be about 1 to 2 months. So I'll communicate additional logistics. There should not be a whole lot of disruption to you as they address that, but we'll communicate the logistics. I really just want to give you a high-level timeline from what they just submitted to me this past week. So bear with me, I know it's a lot of info, but we'll continue to communicate it. So as we mentioned, we are working on the preliminary phasing plans. We are going to be doing the dining rooms as we discussed. We will be having to close them, but we obviously will not do them at the same time. So, I know you prefer us to, so we can speed it up. However, we will be doing the north and then the south. So we'll, again, once we get closer to that date, I know they want to finish that 3rd floor flat roof, and we are waiting on the carpet. If you recall, the carpet has that 14 to 16 week lead time. So once we have received the carpet, we'll communicate what that plan looks like for beginning the dining rooms and the closures and logistics of that. So again, bear with us, lots of projects going on, but we're gonna make them as painless for you as possible. And then the Sales and Marketing Center, that is gonna be about the 3rd week of June, and that's about a 2-week period. Shouldn't be really any disruption to you. They're getting paint and new flooring. But nonetheless, more construction, more equipment, and more Blue Team. So just wanna make sure we're communicating all the things. So again, this is just some of the information, like we just discussed. This is the 3rd floor flat roof. So they will be removing all of those pavers, the existing roof system, and replacing the roof with TPO. It's gonna take about 5 to 7 demolition days, and a city inspection, and then manufacturer inspection. Lots of really boring stuff you probably don't care about. Normally it's gonna take about 2 weeks in Blue Team time. So the EFIS banding, as we discussed, it will be throughout the community. I am going to say that's going to be about a month or 2, and I will communicate exactly what those logistics look like as we get closer. I don't anticipate there being too much disruption, but again, it is around the 3rd floor, and it is basically a styrofoam decorative architectural that has unfortunately helped contribute to some of the water. So the good thing is they're addressing that. So that's just another way that we're able to address any potential water intrusion. And then like we mentioned, this is the sales. We'll be beginning that around June, probably about 22nd, usually about the 3rd week, and that's going to take about 2 weeks production timeline. So really just doing the paint and flooring, but of course that's a lot of the Blue Team logistics. So just want to kind of keep a high level expectation of timelines for some of those. So just a little updates from IHS. We want to remind you that we can do recovery support and assistance for smooth transitions and strong recoveries. Our post-hospital and rehab services ensure a stress-free transition home so you can focus on healing. So if you are having any needs post-discharge from skilled nursing or a hospital stay, we can help with transportation, medications, restocking your fridge, groceries, laundries, and anything you possibly need to get you transitioned back home as you recover. So please keep that in mind for our IHS program and reach out to Shantae or Maddie at extension 502 and 503. So I know this is also our weekly reminder. We want to remind you to wear your badges. We do have a lot of new residents, 18 in Q1 to be exact. So I hear them clicking. So we just want to make sure, if you feel comfortable, we do highly encourage it. That way all of the new residents know who you are and you know who they are. And thank you in advance. Then a little bit from Kyle in healthcare. He just got back from a 10-day cruise, but he gave me a little bit of updates. I guess they were doing some stuff over there. But we did have a chart audit, so we had lots and lots and lots of regional and third-party audits for this setting and for skilled nursing especially because it's so highly regulated by state and federal. But we did have a chart audit by Squared Business Solutions. We had about 15 charts audited. Overall, it went really well. Our biggest opportunity was care planning, and we do have an action plan in place for that. We do have a meet and greet with a Florida college on Wednesday, April 8th. And we always like to just give a little bit of information. We had 39 admissions and 35 discharges for March. So skilled nursing is a little bit different setting. It is very much high occupancy and discharge. So every day they can get 5 admissions and every day they can get 5 discharges. So very busy and high volume and high capacity. And I know we've mentioned this in other updates, but the county emergency management plan was submitted for both the skilled nursing and assisted living. We are just waiting on the county approval. And as we discussed, that is something that is required by the state in that setting. So just another reminder, we want to keep this on here once again. I know we do have a lot of newer residents, but just remember to check in daily between 5 a.m. and 9:59 by pressing that button. When you don't check in, we want to make sure that you're safe. We do understand that you forget, but try to remember, otherwise we will be sending someone up to check on you or find you. So please remember to check in for you. Otherwise we'll come looking for you. So as far as resident services, Kelly is at a conference this week in Des Moines, but she wanted to make sure to remind you that the Main Street Pharmacy will be here for Town Hall, administering COVID booster vaccines on Wednesday, April 15th, 10 a.m. till noon, and then Wednesday, April 22nd, 10 a.m. till noon. So you do need to sign up with Phyllis in the clinic. And it looks like on Wednesday, April 8th, between 10 to 11:30, or you can simply call the pharmacy. Just want to remind you to have your insurance cards available. But if you are interested in the COVID booster vaccine, you have the opportunity both those days here from 10 till noon. So I know we always keep this weekly just to keep an eye on it. We currently do not have any known cases of COVID in any of our communities, whether that's independent living, assisted living, or skilled nursing, but we'll continue to monitor and communicate in the event that we do. So I know, as promised, Ricky and Food and Beverage have a lot going on. They are very, very busy. So I know that tonight we'll have our Passover dinner. Ricky is very dedicated and focused on that for all of those that will be attending. We will have our chef's table Wednesday the 8th and the 22nd, our food and wine pairing on the 23rd, pasta night on the 16th, wine club on the 14th, our beer club on the 21st. We just wanted to make sure, as we discussed, every week, Ricky and the food and beverage team and myself are following up on those memo mate feedback. Remember the chat bot that you call the phone number to and give your feedback? Well, every week we've been meeting to discuss the feedback on that, and a lot of it was you wanted an indication of spicy food. So we are implementing an icon on the menus that will indicate spicy food based on some of that feedback. We do have new menus in the pub starting today on the 7th, so you'll see some new items there. They usually cycle that out about every 5 to 6 weeks, so they'll continue to bring new in a variety of items. If there are any items you want to see, make sure that you remember to communicate or participate in menu chat. That's where a lot of these items come from in that meeting is menu chat. So anything you feel really strongly about wanting to see on the menu, please let them know, and I'm sure that they will work that in. Chef is really good about listening to that and trying to make that happen. And as a reminder, please don't forget about our Afternoon Delight in Brick and Vine. And of course, our Bella Row. We have started that last week. The weather, other than today, has been beautiful. So I know they're out there making those pizzas and gorgeous, gorgeous weather. So please do participate in those. We are trying to do about 2 a week, because that's just how great pizza is. We need it twice a week. So as mentioned, don't miss the chance to enjoy. The weather has been great, so you see them out there, Dustin, Ricky, and Chef. We've got some of you at a beautiful table. You even brought your own linens. I love that. And just enjoying some good pizza. So make sure to let them know if you are interested in coming. They do want reservations just because they have to pre-prepare the pizzas and bring them down to the pizza oven. But let us know. We want you to participate. So we are doing it the 15th and the 17th and the 24th. So come on down, enjoy the gorgeous weather before it gets too hot to do so, and get some fire pizza. And then just updates from activities this week. So we do have the Maintain with Maintenance, as we discussed, immediately following our Tuesday talk in Grand Lobby South. Wednesday, April 8th, library app presentation at 1:30 in Grand Lobby South. The 9th, we are doing the Pump It Up for Parkinson's. Starts anytime and ends at 5 p.m. in the fitness center. And then Thursday 9th, we have our cocktail party that starts at 3:30. And the theme is purple for Parkinson's. So grab your pedometer Thursday morning from the fitness center if you want to track your early morning walks. And please check out the new double-sided calendars. I know that was some feedback that I received. So we did make the fonts larger, and it will be on the front and the back now. So you have to turn it over, but we will have a little bit larger font on those calendars. But back to Pump It Up, we want to make sure you sign up in the fitness center and help us to reach our goal. It is a nationwide goal of 50 million steps, and we need your help. So please do join us and help us to meet that goal. That's not too many steps, just a couple. So a little from HR, we are doing a lunch and learn this week on employee branding. This is super important and a big LCS initiative. Why it matters, we have about 900 million professionals worldwide. First impressions, of course, usually happen online these days. Opportunities come from visibility. People research before they engage. And this really helps us in acquiring new talent, building our reputation, and then highlighting our team and our community as a great place to work. So HR is really good at doing these informative lunch and learns, so it helps our team to engage in these initiatives so we can continue filling our positions with good talent and, of course, retaining good employees. And then just some updates from sales. So we do have our next event, which is Thursday the 9th and the 16th at 11 a.m. And it is called The Scoop. And it is, again, one of my favorites. It is life care versus rental. Always good information. It's probably my favorite topic because it does let potential residents that are interested in our setting and our type of community really understand the nitty-gritty of what we do. So again, that is the 9th and the 16th, and as always, appreciate the ambassadors and the marketing committee that attends those and spends times with those residents and those potential residents and helps educate them on our community. There's no better advocate than someone who actually lives here. Of course, I'm going to tell you it's great. Of course, Lucy's going to tell you it's great, and you're going to believe her. However, it really is super impactful when it comes from all of you. So thank you to all those that participate. We always appreciate it. And then speaking of Lucy, I just wanted to give a really high level. So, you know, I know she's fantastic and we know she's fantastic, but she's actually on her way to Mexico because that's how fantastic she is. So she actually was in the top of our companies, just to kind of give you a quick snapshot. That's Lucy Norland up there with Regency Oaks with 42 sales in comparison to a lot of the other communities. So that just really shows you how knowledgeable and impactful she is to our community and to our company. So I know many of you worked with her, and we're just really proud of her, and I'm honored to be able to work with her. So she is in Mexico, she's on her way. They're going to be at Live Aqua in Cancun. So if you are looking for her, that's where she's at.
Yay, Lucy.
Yay, Lucy, that's right. It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. She's kind of a big deal.
There she is.
Where is she? She walking on those mats? So just a little, we have been spring cleaning. We've been running around the grounds, making sure we can get all of those ugly sticks and cones picked up. Again, I know we've been under construction for many, many years. So we are getting a lot of those areas addressed. Of course, we will be getting the landscaping. We did get our little collective closet over here cleaned up. We'll keep an eye on that to make sure that food and beverage doesn't move back in there. And so I know we had a very damaged couch over there in the south dining room lobby that had some holes and scratches in it. This one is brand new, so a little nicer. It is not necessarily permanent, as we will be redoing the dining rooms, but we want to make sure that you don't have a couch with a big hole in it until then. So I love the color. I think it's nice and bright and sassy, but go check it out. Let me know what you think. But it's not necessarily there permanently, but we wanted to make sure we could replace the other one. So really just a little bit of updates from me. I had a lot of coordination and collaboration over the last couple of weeks about various things, so I just wanted to make sure that we touch on those. Betsy, first and foremost, is going to be out on PTO starting tomorrow, so if you need anything from her, let us or the front desk know. We can get it for you, but she will be out Wednesday through Monday.
We love Betsy.
We are continuing to work on the design for the north and the south dining rooms, as we discussed. We are, of course, going to be working on that south office, as we discussed, the third floor flat roof. Again, with landscaping, we will be getting that shortly. We have not forgotten. I am going to my first conference in Des Moines on April 20th. We'll be there that week until about the 23rd, so I always just kind of like to let you know that I'm not, in fact, in Cancun. I'm in Des Moines. So as we mentioned, we did finish that repaving. Poor Amy, she's worked so hard on completing all the breezeway power washing, and then a lovely rain comes through and washes it all anyway. But good job, Amy. We did go ahead, as I mentioned, and purchased a new power washer internally, so that's something we can keep on preventative maintenance so they don't get too dirty. We discussed that. I know it was brought up in last Tuesday talk about the P-wing transition. We did go ahead and get that addressed. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. That was fixed. We did receive feedback about the activity calendar's font being too small. We did enlarge that, and that is on front and back now. And I know that there's been a little bit of feedback about that lift that's outside of sales. We had kept that here so we could make sure to address any leftover areas that might have been forgotten, but that will be picked up this week. I know that's something that's been asked of me. These are all things that people ask, so I want to make sure that we follow up and address them. As discussed, Kyle returns from PTO this week. He was out last week, so I know those that have family members or loved ones in healthcare. He is back, and his team did a great job in his absence. Like we mentioned, we cleaned all that junk in that town hall corner. We've gotten a lot of the construction tape throughout the grounds. Also, some of the feedback that came from your memo mate calls was the food and beverage and denoting gluten-free and sauce on side. So, yes? So we are going to be adding the, just a denotation on the menus for gluten-free and sauce on the side, just as a reminder. So they're working on getting that added to the menus as well. They are also going to be adding the daily menu and putting that in the Regency Oaks app, so that's something that you can see from the app. I know we discussed those white pads. And so with that, any questions you have for myself or for Ty or for Sherry? Yes, Miss Judy.
Last week, one of the items you said was that they were continuing to work on trimming the trees outside the P-wing. Well, the tree outside my apartment still has a lot of dead stuff in it, and now that lift is gonna be gone, so what are they gonna do about that tree? And that's not the only tree in the area that has all the dead stuff in it from the hurricanes.
So it is my understanding, Miss Judy, they did do significant trimming on that specific tree, but I'll follow up with Darwin again to make sure. Okay, absolutely. Will do. All right, any other questions? Yes, Ms. Beth?
You mentioned the window cleaning that is going to be happening. What about the wasp problem? Because I've had some visitors of wasps to my apartment. How they get in, I can't imagine, but it's a problem.
So we continue to work with Blue Team and our pest control company to address those. So if you put in a work order, we can get that taken care of. What's your apartment number again, Ms. Beth? P501. Okay. I got it. Any other questions for me? Any questions you might have for Sherry or Ty? Annette?
I know that you're redoing the dining rooms, which is wonderful, but I haven't heard any mention of leveling some of the tables that block back and forth, so just wonder if that might be checked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So she asked if while we're redoing the dining rooms, will we be addressing the tables that need to be leveled? And we can most certainly do kind of an audit on those and get those fixed. But in the meantime, please place a work order. In the meantime, place a work order and we can take a look at those and get them fixed. Thanks for letting us know. Any other questions? Well, thank you all for coming. I know it's been cold and rainy. If you want to stay after and just say hello, you're most certainly welcome to do that. Next, I'll be taking Ty and Sherry was the community, taking Ty, showing him around the community. And from there, so thank you all, appreciate it.